Samsung's brand new flagship smartphone, the Galaxy S11 Plus, has just been leaked by Max Weinbach and XDA developers. Here is our first look at the Galaxy S11 Plus, the name that is usually reserved for the very best phone in the lineup. But this year, the Plus is going to be the middle phone in the lineup, with the S20, the S20 Plus in the middle, and the S20 Ultra being the top spec version. This will bring the S20 phones much more in line with what we see with the iPhone lineup, with 3 main versions of their phones. If we take a really good look at the leak, it actually shows us some really interesting things that I think most people in general will be pleased with. The main aspect I see is actually a big reversal from Samsung in the design of the screen. But if we do start from the back, it looks like those leaked CAD renders from OnLeaks were accurate after all. Not that we ever doubted him, he is right virtually all of the time. 4 cameras, a microphone, and a flash unit make up the back camera unit of the Galaxy S20 Plus. You will notice also that all the camera lenses are rounded, meaning there are no periscope zoom cameras on this phone. So that is obviously something that is reserved for the S20 Ultra. I guess Samsung do need a reason to call that phone the Ultra. You have an ultra wide, of course, and a main camera lens housed underneath that, apparently a much bigger 12 megapixel image sensor, moving the micron size from 1.4 microns to 1.8 microns. This will mean much better image quality all around and should mean better low light images too. The 4th sensor we would assume is either a macro sensor or a depth sensor. Samsung have been putting more and more macro sensors in their phones, especially in the mid-range. Really quite useless for most of us most of the time, and I would prefer a depth sensor in there, and that could help with live focus and portrait shots, but again, for right now we don't know exactly what that is. Moving to the front, and the thing that makes me quite happy about the path that Samsung are taking. Of course, Samsung were really the first company to introduce a curved display in a flagship smartphone. And this was a unique selling point that carried on with Samsung flagships for a very long time, and that has now moved over to many other Android manufacturers. But it looks like Samsung are actually listening to their customers and taking away the curve and making it way more subtle. Some people love curves, some people hate curves, but most people in the middle say that even though it looks quite good, it doesn't really add anything to the usage of the device. And so it looks like Samsung are just flattening out the curves on the Galaxy S20 phones. So whilst we've got waterfall displays, quad curved displays coming in, and wraparound displays coming in, looks like the company that brought this feature to the mainstream is going flatter. More on the screen, it looks like after a lot of back and forth on the refresh rates on the S20 phones, it looks like Samsung are keeping the very high 120 Hz refresh rate spec on all of the phones, which is a very good thing. You will of course be able to switch it between 60 and 120, giving users choice is the main thing, and I'm glad it looks like Samsung are keeping that spec for the phones. A center cutout for the front camera, or Infinity O display, as Samsung call it, is also confirmed. Again, a very good thing. If you've ever bought a phone with a left or right mounted cutout, you'll know that taking selfies is always slightly strange, and the center is definitely the best place for the cutout. Both the S20 and S20 Plus, that is the bottom 2 versions in the lineup this year, apparently will have 4G versions. This is a little strange because the Snapdragon 865 is sold by Qualcomm with a 5G modem, so Samsung might be disabling the 5G connectivity from the software. That's what the leaks are saying right now, and we look forward to more leaks coming in the next few days about the other phones in the lineup. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and everything to do with Samsung. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.